A sea of endless reboots. That's all we can expect from corporate entertainment at this point, as there's really no creativity involved in Hollywood, in New York publishing, anywhere to be seen. The only place that you're going to get real creativity is with independent creators like myself. Hey, I'm John Delarose. I am a #1 best-selling author, and I have won an awesome award, the N3F Award for Best Comic for The Cosmic Warrior. People are loving this book, and you can get in on this today. This is the complete graphic novel. It's going to be a quick turnaround. The book's already done. Only 14 days on the campaign. Please head to the description below. If you love great science fiction like John Carter, like Green Lantern, like any of the classic superheroes or science fiction movies, you will absolutely enjoy this. I guarantee it. That link is in the description below. Thank you so much, everybody who supports. All right, we've got new movie news that Tom Holland is being replaced as Spider-Man again. Well, it's not that new. It's a couple weeks old, but I want to talk about the topic overall of movie reboots. It seems like Hollywood just can't have an original idea or an original story. They just keep rebooting everything to death. We've got Spider-Man, which has been rebooted 4 times, and it's just absurd at this point to even try to follow along with what's going on. None of it connects together. All of it is just like one rehash after another. It's just uninspired. But Hollywood does this for a reason. You know the brand, you know the characters, and so they're just trying to get the brand out there. They don't really care what the product is. They want it all to be a watered down piece of garbage for pop masses so that it can just be consumed and move on to the next one. That's all it's about these days. Nobody's really out there trying to do anything new, trying to push the limits of storytelling, trying to make great new ideas. It's really sad to watch how the culture's gone. This really all started with Battlestar Galactica, if you remember that. Battlestar Galactica in the early 2000s was rebooted from the 70s property. Now, this was kind of interesting at the time because Battlestar Galactica as a 70s property was kind of a lousy show. It was a Star Wars knockoff clone thing. It had some cool concepts to it, but it really didn't go anywhere. It didn't last that long. It really, while it had a brand to it, I guess, there wasn't much of a universe surrounding it that was built into an interesting story. They took this and they made this into something interesting the first time, but I see, they're working on rebooting it yet again. And so what's the point of that? They already told that story. They already pushed that really to its limits. What are they going to do with it for the third time for the reboot? I just don't even care at this juncture. It's really hard to care when you've already seen something before. And it's hard to care because these exist already. You can go online onto the streaming platforms and watch the old versions already. This is going to be competing with that. It's not going to really be competing with new product all the way down. And what happens because of these reboots is these new ones really don't stand the test of time. People don't watch them again and again and again like your beloved old school Star Trek. You've got Star Trek 2009, which is basically a parody of Star Trek. And while the actors seem to do a good job, it really just was a rushed film that had an incoherent plot that tried to force things together and tried to create a reboot so that they could have a franchise for the member berries again. It didn't work very long. You see that the reboots last not quite as long as their original predecessors when it's something that was good that was a predecessor before. Star Trek lasted for a long time. It was something that stayed with the zeitgeist for the next generation, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, Enterprise. I mean, how many different films and TV shows did it spawn? How many different episodes did it last that people remember? Very few people remember much about Star Trek 2009, and by the third film, do you even remember Star Trek Beyond? I don't even remember what it was about. I maybe saw it one time, maybe half a time on TV when it was on. I don't know. But they don't last because there's nothing iconic about them. There's nothing new about them. There's nothing that needs to be told. And this is the sad part. And what invariably happens when they start to fail, they start to blame the audience. They start to blame the customer for not understanding. The customer's burnt out on it. They always say that. They're burnt out on the franchise. You're going to hear this with Star Wars coming very soon as Disney's trying to force new things down for their audiences. But really what it comes down to is the fact that these people don't tell interesting stories. They're trying to force different diversities all the time, and it's just annoying to watch. So nobody wants to watch these reboots. I did a video about Babylon 5 earlier, and I expect much the same. We already have a classic, iconic story with Babylon 5. We have something that you can watch over and over. You have something that really has depth to it, that's really interesting, that really came out of a period of creativity and struggle from the author, J. Michael Straczynski, at the time, that he's not going to be able to recreate now. Even though he's doing it himself in theory, he's not going to be able to capture that magic, just like none of these reboots were able to capture the magic of the original. I really just want something new. I want some new sci-fi, something interesting. Gosh, Hollywood, can you just like take my Oration War series and just adapt it or something like that? Or my Justified book or anything, maybe even the Cosmic Warrior. I would love to see this on the silver screen. And you know what? I could help you guys with that so that you can create a lasting property that's fun for everybody. They'll never go for it. Who am I kidding? But you can go for it still. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Go to the link down below. Support the channel. Support new content. Support new ideas. And let's stop with the reboots, shall we?